want to talk about something that every health anxiety sufferer knows way too well: Googling symptoms. We all do it, or at least we've all done it. A weird ache in your side, a sudden dizzy spell, a rash that looks just a little too unfamiliar. So you pick up your phone or open your laptop, type it into Google, and fall headfirst into a terrifying rabbit hole of worst-case scenarios. Before you know it, you're convinced you have a rare, incurable disease. You can't focus, you can't relax, and suddenly your day is ruined. I've been there, over and over again. And I'm here to tell you, after years of living with health anxiety and trying everything I can to manage it, that Googling symptoms is one of the most damaging habits we can engage in. It might feel like you're being proactive or responsible, but in reality, it's doing the exact opposite. It's pouring gasoline on the fire of your anxiety. So today I want to explain from someone who lives this, why Googling symptoms is so harmful for people like us, and more importantly, what you can do instead that's actually healthy and helpful. Let's start with the basics. When we Google symptoms, we're not actually looking for information, we're looking for reassurance. We want to find something that tells us, hey, you're okay, this isn't serious. But the internet is not built to give reassurance. It's built to give possibilities. And those possibilities almost always skew toward the extreme. Medical websites, forums, AI-generated content farms. Most of what comes up in a symptom search isn't curated with your mental health in mind. It's built for SEO, clicks, and liability coverage. That means it includes everything from mild muscle strain to aggressive metastatic cancer in the same list of possible causes. And guess what our brains latch onto? Exactly. There's actually a term for this spiral. It's called Cyberchondria. Researchers define it as the escalation of health anxiety caused by excessive online health-related searches. And yes, it's real. Multiple studies have confirmed that people who are prone to anxiety, especially health anxiety, tend to misinterpret ambiguous or mild symptoms as signs of severe illness after reading about them online. A 2013 study published in the journal Anxiety, Stress, and Coping found that people with high health anxiety who searched for their symptoms online experienced increased anxiety, confusion, and distress. And the more they searched, the worse it got. It becomes a feedback loop. Anxiety leads to Googling. Googling leads to more anxiety, which leads to more Googling. I can't even count how many hours I've spent in that loop, convinced I was dying of something obscure, only to find out later it was nothing. And here's the kicker. Even when we find something reassuring, it doesn't stick. Because for people with health anxiety, reassurance doesn't last. Maybe you stumble on a benign explanation and feel better for an hour or two, but then a new symptom pops up, or your mind goes, what if that wasn't accurate? So you go back to Google. Again and again, it's exhausting. And over time, it erodes your ability to trust yourself, your body, and even medical professionals. Another problem is that the internet doesn't know you. It doesn't know your medical history, your stress levels, your diet, your sleep patterns, none of the individual context that a real doctor would use to interpret your symptoms. It treats every search the same. That's how you end up thinking that your tension headache might be a brain tumor, or that your muscle twitch is ALS. And while that might sound dramatic, it's terrifying when you're in it. Your body feels like a threat. Your own thoughts feel like a threat. Every little twinge becomes a possible emergency. And the constant fear takes a toll, not just mentally but physically. Chronic stress and anxiety can raise your cortisol levels, mess with your digestion, weaken your immune system, and even cause the very symptoms you're panicking about. Palpitations, dizziness, chest tightness, nausea, tingling, fatigue. Those are classic anxiety symptoms. But if you Google them, you'll find everything from stroke to heart disease to multiple sclerosis. Not a single top result is going to say, you're probably just anxious and tired. So what do we do instead? How do we not Google symptoms when it feels like the only way to calm ourselves down? Here's what I've learned that actually helps, both from personal experience and from scientific research. First, when you feel the urge to search, pause. Literally just pause. Take a breath. Label the urge for what it is, anxiety, not emergency. That simple moment of recognition is powerful. It puts space between the feeling and the reaction. I like to say out loud, this is just health anxiety talking. It helps me ground myself. Second, build a reassurance plan that doesn't involve the internet. That might be a short checklist you write down and keep on your phone or desk. Something like, has this symptom gone on for more than a few days? Is it getting worse quickly? Am I in severe pain or unable to function? If the answer is no, remind yourself this isn't an emergency. You're allowed to monitor it without obsessing. And if the answer is yes, then your next step is not to Google, it's to reach out to a real healthcare provider. This brings me to the third point. Establish a relationship with a medical professional you trust. This has been a game changer for me. Having a primary care doctor who knows my health anxiety and takes me seriously, without feeding my fears, has made it easier to resist the pull of symptom searching. If I have a question, I email them. If I'm really worried, I schedule an appointment. And if they tell me I'm okay, I do everything I can to believe them. It's not always easy, but it's way healthier than searching Reddit threads written by random strangers with no medical training. Fourth, redirect your energy. Health anxiety thrives on rumination, and symptom Googling is just one flavor of that. But the brain can't ruminate and focus at the same time, so give it something to do. Go for a walk, do a crossword puzzle, listen to music, journal about what you're feeling. Or even better, use the moment to take a small step toward actual health. Stretch your back, drink some water, go to bed early. Every time you resist the urge to Google and do something health positive instead, you're rewiring your brain. You're teaching it that discomfort doesn't equal danger and that you can be in control. Fifth, and this one might sound counterintuitive, educate yourself about health anxiety, not diseases. Learn how the brain and body interact when we're afraid. Learn what adrenaline does. Learn how panic manifests physically. I've found that the more I understand how anxiety creates real symptoms, the less scared I am when they show up. For example, I used to panic about chest pain, but once I learned that hyperventilation from anxiety can actually cause the muscles between your ribs to cramp, it stopped feeling mysterious or deadly. Now when it happens, I say, I'm breathing shallow again. Time to slow it down. That's the kind of education that empowers us, not terrifies us. Finally, and maybe most importantly, talk to someone. Whether it's a therapist, a support group, a friend who gets it, saying your fears out loud helps break their power. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is the gold standard for treating health anxiety, and for good reason. It teaches you how to challenge distorted thoughts, tolerate uncertainty, and reduce compulsive behaviors like Googling. I know therapy isn't always accessible, but even using CBT-based apps or workbooks can help. I've used them myself, and I recommend them to anyone who's caught in the cycle. So here's the bottom line. Googling symptoms is not helping you. It might feel like it is in the moment, but long-term, it makes health anxiety worse, more frequent, more intense, and more debilitating. I'm not saying you should ignore your body, quite the opposite. But there's a difference between paying attention and panicking, between being proactive and being obsessive. And every time you choose not to Google, you're choosing to trust yourself a little more. You're choosing peace over panic. You're choosing health, not just physical, but mental health too. If you're like me, you want to do everything you can to stay healthy, and that's good. But real health starts with the ability to tolerate uncertainty, to sit with discomfort, and to trust that not every symptom is a sign of doom. That's not denial, it's wisdom, it's balance, it's growth. So the next time you feel that itch to search, remember this video. Take a breath, put down the phone, remind yourself that you're okay. You're doing the work, and that's enough. You've got this.